Welcome back, Sleepers of Arrakis, to another week of Deep Desert restart action after the Coriolis storm has blown through and has changed our fortunes forever, or at least for this week. This week we have an exciting weapon blueprint drop rate, as we have 2 S-tier weapons, 1 B-tier weapon, and kind of mediocre armor that you might just want to get your hands on because it is there. And on top of that, we have more spice fields. All this to come here in a few minutes. But first, I would like to give a hand-reaching thanks out to all of you, the people who are watching and supporting this channel. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and of course sharing this information every single week. You are helping the audience grow, and without you, I could not make this possible. Remember, we are doing this for you and you alone. Thank you so much once again, and I hope everyone is having a great day. Okay, jumping straight in, we have a not so interesting piece of gear that is dropping all over the desert and can be found at a 47% chance from small shipwrecks, which I'm having literal impossibilities of finding lately. That will be the desert garb. This is nothing to write home about. It is just a low tier armor set, but it does help you survive out in the desert if you are just out there accumulating and grabbing stuff and getting in and out of your ships. Next, at the G3 Imperial testing station, we have all of the executors pieces are dropping out there with the blueprint: boots, chest piece, gauntlets, helmet, pants, all of it at the G3 Imperial Testing Center. Of course, you will find the boots and the helmet dropping at 68% chance, with the chest piece, the gauntlets, and the pants dropping at a 48% chance. If you're interested in this B tier, not so great set, you can jump out there. The Executor's chest piece and all of its components will be found there at the G3 testing site. Next up is kind of an impressive little thing that I haven't seen drop all that often. That is the Hajra Leader John MK6. This is for helping you survive out there in the deep desert so you can hold even more water. This is dropping at the D7 Imperial Testing Station. You have an 80% chance of getting it, so you're going to have to run it 1 or 2 times, but the Hajra Leader John is something that you should have because it is the best Leader John you could possibly be carrying around with you out there in the deep desert. And next, we have the D6 Large Shipwreck, which is giving us the hook claw gloves. Once again, nothing that is very impressive, but it does help you climb up the side of rocks and walls, and you lose less stamina by using them, so they are definitely something that needs to be drawn out because some people just like to climb. The hook claw gloves, once again, D6 Shipwreck. If you see them, you should get them. Next, we have Idaho's Charge. Now we're starting to get into those hotter, more higher tier pieces of gear. Idaho's Charge is a B tier chest piece. It can be found at the F8 Large Shipwreck, and it's an 80% chance, so it's going to be dropping quite often. You get out there, you get your Idaho's, you might as well have it and put it into the closet. Just hang it on a hook. You never know. You might want to use it one day, and it could be worth something. Next, we have a B tier weapon called Indara's Lullaby. This can be found at the H1 Large Shipwreck. This is also an 80% chance drop. There at H1, this is just about the only thing you're going to really care about grabbing, but it's really not all that great of a weapon. Indara's, it is a triple shot burst fire effect that comes with it, but it's just not as good as that Regis triple shot, which is going to be up next because at the I-5 Imperial Testing Station, you have a 100% chance to get your Regis triple shot repeating rifle. This is S tier. This is about the best thing you can be getting your hands on. Everybody wants a Regis triple shot repeating rifle because it does a lot of damage, and you are going to be able to find this very easily out there at the I-5 Imperial Testing stations. Don't be late to the show. Make sure you get out there and you're getting your hands on it as quickly as possible. And finally, another S tier weapon dropping at the H8 Large Shipwreck. This also is a 100% chance of grabbing it. It is the Shell Buster. That's right, that Shell Buster is a incinerary shot fire damage on hit Scattergun, this thing really hurts. This is one of the best weapons you can find in the game, and you're not really finding it out there so often. So make sure that you do jump out there and take advantage of this blueprint week, because this is a great week for you to be upgrading all of your weapons and getting ready for the next week, where hopefully we do get something different. The tiers and the different types of blueprints are starting to change, where they are not just the same old pincushion stuff. So maybe next week you'll have something to accompany the Shellbuster. And moving on to our deep desert map this week, because we got a lot of hotspots. Well, at least we have one extremely very good hotspot, and this is going to be where you want to jump out there and try to beat your competition to build your base as quickly as possible, and that's going to be here in the E9 E7 area on the safe side of the border. That is, this is going to be a very good place to be setting up base and getting stuff done. The reason being is you have access to the D6 and the D7 point of interest, which are both dropping the Jar Leader John and of course those hook claw gloves. Nothing really to write home about with the hook claw gloves, but there are things that you can loot, and of course you do jump into this F8 shipwreck, which is going to have the Idaho chest piece. So this is going to be a nice little place to get out to. However, you are kind of far away from any kind of large spice plume. However, you will have this I8 spice plume sitting all out by yourself. So probably going to be safe-ish if you get out there on a less like PvP orientated server, and you'll be able to get access to all the good stuff that, you know, people are trying to get their hands on. Not to mention, there in the H8 spot is where we are getting the Shellbuster drop. So this is also right along lines of the E9 E7 lane that you can jump out there and have no problem. And of course, you can find the triple shot in the I5, which is kind of along the lines of the spectrum of what you can fly to from this area and get things done. Of course, E5, E6 would also be a good option for all of this, because if you're trying to get spice, you have it right across the border and in H8 for whenever those are popping, and you're still going to get your hands on all the other equipment that are dropping from all of these different sites. So you definitely want to try to orientate yourself, in my opinion, here on the eastern side of the map, because not only this is where the triple shot and the Shellbuster is dropping, but you do have access to other various nice resources like the large sand plumes that are, or spice plumes that are dropping out there in the deep desert in this region. If you are just trying to find a safe place to call home that you don't want to be bothered with, right here E1 has this little lone island that is just right across from the sand plumes. This also would be a great option. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who are out there, you know, digging around trying to do stuff. And if you do want to get your hands on the Executor set, it is right there in G3, so a quick little flop over there. But most of the action, once again, is going to be taking place here on the east side of the map, because it is quite obvious this is where the majority of the good stuff is. So make sure that you're getting out there early and finding a location in this region that you can, of course, dig down, build a safe wall, and keep yourself active as the week goes. This week we were lucky enough that the Dune Awakening gods themselves have given us 4 large spice plumes. This is an improvement from last week, which was only 3, so they are still just manipulating those numbers, I guess, to test to see how much is getting pulled out and how many people are complaining about not being able to get access to it. However, this week it is plentiful out there enough. There are 4 large spice plumes. Hopefully we can see those things regrow, or what's the word for it? Maybe, hopefully we can see those things respawn in a more quicker fashion and get us more spice plume. As always, if you have not jumped out to the deep desert yet and you're new to the game, because I do know there are new people out there, remember, as soon as you get your hands on an ornithopter, jump straight to the deep desert and make sure that you are completing all of the Imperial testing stations here in the A row. These are all PvE, and you're getting 180 80 intel points every single week by just running out there and getting that. And so if you're trying to advance and get to that next level ornithopter or another type of research that you're having trouble grinding to, right here is your quick stop, easy access answer to that problem. As for the comments this week, I have got to say that I'm still always extremely impressed with how much you guys care, because I'm getting a lot of great comments as well as advice being dropped in the comment section. Remember, if you have anything to say, anything to ask, or anything to contribute, please make sure that you are taking time to leave those comments, because it's not only helping me, it's also helping the community to see things and understand the frustrations or the easy parts of the game that they might not know about yet. Starting off, we have Brad Mock 1419. He says, I really enjoyed your video, 45-year-old husband and dad here. Hey, let me tell you something, Brad. I know exactly how you feel. I am also a man in his 40s who has 2 kids. He loves Dune and all of Paul's hands going into the box to the gold, Duncan, Idaho, Banished and Beyond. This guy is a true fan of Dune, and I just want to say thank you, Brad, for leaving that message and letting us know all about that. Next up, we have Porker Pete 7722. He says, I'm packing all my valuables in the bank right now. It's been fun, but gotta check back in a year or so. That's perfectly fine, Porker Pete. I'm glad that you have played and you have enjoyed and joined in on this community. There is still going to be a lot of action and development in this game in the near future, so I'm sure we will be waiting for you to come back and share more of your experiences that you are getting out here. Julian Nichols 7891 says, love this guy. He's like the John Madden for Dune. Well, thank you, Julian Nichols. That is one of the nicest comments that anyone's ever said about me, and I am trying to lose some weight. I am kind of looking like John Madden nowadays, so thank you for dropping in and giving that. Next, we have Stab Sagar 2305 says, thanks, Nerdbird, for the intel. It's great to see your subscriber numbers getting there. Well done. Well, thank you, Stab Sagar. In fact, I wouldn't have those subscriber numbers if you did not take the time to leave comments like this, and I extremely am grateful for what you are doing for this channel. Thanks for stopping in. We have Man Farang Wan. I'm loving this weekly Dune weather report. I'm mostly jumping on just to keep maintenance until the future DLC can lure my friends back in. Yes, I miss my friends too, Man Farang Wan. That's a long name. I have lost all my friends in the game, and I'm playing solo when I do jump in, so I'm also waiting for something to spark interest in the overall community for people to come back in. But once again, thanks for dropping by and saying those kind words. I deeply appreciate it. Next, we have Corporal. He says, keep up the good work. Thanks, Corporal. I'll be doing my best, and I'm thinking about you the whole time, trying to do my best to keep you interested in this channel and what's going on. Next, we had James Smith QN6HS, who said, you could get the power harness from Landsrad last week for delivering like 10 adept swords, right? Yeah, that's nothing to deliver. Thank you for dropping that intel in here so that people can see that there are more ways to be getting these things. I could have used it. I didn't even look at the Landsrad last week. So until you mention something like this, it makes me remember that there are so many different things that I have to be checking to make sure that I'm not missing out on stuff as I am going. Next, we have Tim Brown 9905 said he got the PH, which is the power harness, from a random, very lucky encounter with a SSW. Anyways, good stuff. I'm guessing that's a small shipwreck. Oh my God, Tim Brown. Like I said, I have flown around the desert forever. I cannot find small shipwrecks anywhere. So congratulations on that lucky find. I really, really, really am happy that you were able to get what you were looking for. Vol'jin 8893 says, bro, maybe a lasgun build movie? Shit, I can try, but typically people don't like to see lasgun movies because it is usually me destroying their ships or their bases, and that makes a lot of people angry. But maybe we can find a way to work something in there. Vol'jin, thank you for giving that advice. I will try to fit in something for the lasgun. Next, we have Himbla Robert, who says, strong intros with creative presence builds trust early. Thank you for that advice, Himbla Robert. I mean, I'm doing my best. I hope that my strong intro or my intro itself is strong enough to get people interested and keep them wanting to come back and do more. Thank you once again for that advice, because, that is very good and helpful stuff that will help me build this channel and make more people join up. Now, as for this week, it was very exciting, and I'm glad that we were all able to get in here and share in this information together. Everybody, once again, as you already know, if you have any questions or anything that you would like to leave in the comments section below, please feel free to do so. There is nothing I like more than reading and replying to your comments, and I am here for you. Thank you all for coming and sharing this time with me, and have a great week.